what's up, vinyl community, and welcome to the Mosh Pit. Basically, I wanted to start a video series where I can talk about all things hard rock, heavy metal, and thrash bands. I'm going to highlight a few different bands and show you everything I have of those bands, and then hopefully on down the line in the future, I'll just do like Mosh Pit updates. To qualify for a Mosh Pit video, it's going to be any band that you can do this to, basically, or if you're at one of their concerts, a Mosh Pit might break out, right? So thanks for coming along. The first band I wanted to talk about was Testament. Now, Testament, highly influential Bay Area thrash band. One of my favorite thrash bands, one of my favorite heavy metal bands of all time. I just love the band, even though critics are on both sides of the fence on here, so I'm a little bit anxious about doing this video, but I'm going to share what's on my mind about the band. I love the guys. You're talking about Chuck Billy got started with them, Eric Peterson and Alex Skolnick, who was mentored by Joe Satriani. And you can't go wrong with that. Even though they started in the early 80s with a couple different lineups and a different singer, this ended up being the band that was. They stuck together till about 92. After they released Ritual, then they started to break up and go through some different lineup changes where some very famous drummers like Bostaff and Lombardo played for Testament. Went kind of a couple different rough patches with Chuck Billy getting cancer, and then also another member getting a brain tumor, and then recovering from all that, getting back together in the early 2000s, and then now they just released Brotherhood of the Snake in 2016, which is a phenomenal album. So basically that's a quick run through the band, but let's talk about where it all started here with the legacy. Oh, just really quickly, Farley's Retro Fan Cave had a thread a while ago, or a contest, where he put a question out to the vinyl community talking about, hey, there's a big four, right? And what if there was a big five, what band would be included? And a lot of people were talking about Exodus, and there's a lot of good picks for who would be that fifth band. Pantera came up. I would pick Testament. They were there very early on, even though they formed in 83 and didn't release an album until 87. They were there very early on, and they would be my pick for a big five. But anyway, The Legacy, 1987, awesome album. This happens to be on Megaforce, and I've re-sleeved it here. And what's special about this record is it was actually a part of a VCLT trade with Cloudy Milder. So I have a copy of this thanks to him. It has the original inner sleeve, and it's polylined. So this is a German pressing, which is really cool. Testament's second album. Well, before I do that, I happen to grab the CD and the tape for that as well. Their second album, The New Order, classic thrash. Fantastic album, great songs on here, like Into the Pit, Disciples of the Watch. Just, it's a killer album. They also cover Aerosmith's Nobody's Fault on here as well. I have the lyric sheet for that. And at this time, these guys were touring with Anthrax and a number of thrash metal bands. This is also on Megaforce, and I've got it re-sleeved. And this was also part of the VCLT trade with Cloudy Milder. After that, this EP came out, Trial by Fire. It had the Trial by Fire, the Aerosmith Nobody's Fault cover, and then also Reign of Terror. And going back and listening to Reign of Terror and a couple other Testament albums, I also hear hints of Chuck Billy's growling vocals that come up a lot more in Brotherhood of the Snake. Next up, my favorite Testament album of all time is Practice What You Preach. I just love this album. This is a classic thrash album with killer tracks on it. And then also Perilous Nation, which was covered by Ultimatum. You just look down through here, it's just a Greenhouse Effect. That's just a killer album. And I also have that on CD. Grab the CD for that real quick. Original lyric sleeve, which I have not replaced the vinyl yet. And then this is a US press on Megaforce. But just love Practice What You Preach. Killer Testament album, one of my favorites. Recently picked up at Jerry's Records a Kerrang, one of those Kerrang flexi discs. This has Greenhouse Effect and then Acid Rain Blind Aggression on it, so it's pretty cool. I didn't play it. I mean, it's in pretty nice condition. I wouldn't mind playing it. Alright, the next album, this is, I consider, an absolute grail. I'm very happy to add it to the collection. The Ritual. I love this album. Despite what a lot of people say, this is my time. I'm in high school. I love Testament. They changed their sound a little bit more mid-tempo. And then of course they have the slow song. I'm not going to call it a ballad, but they have Return to Serenity on here, which I think is a killer song. And I like it. And I like the 80s ballads too. But that's just me. But this is a killer album. One of my favorite Testament albums, probably my third favorite Testament album. And this also came out of a time when vinyl wasn't being pressed too often. It came out in '92. So I had to pick this up on as a European pressing, a little bit thin cover, but it's in really good shape. Oh yeah, also it has the artwork by Don Browningham. I'm working up a different video just for Don Browningham artwork. He's done a lot of artwork for iconic album covers such as Master of Puppets and Testament the Ritual. He did Metal Church album, I believe. So I'm trying to round those albums up, and I'll do an episode on that at another time. But just love this thing. This thing was in my want list for so long, and then just to have it in my hands it's just really cool. Been loving to listen to that. Again, European pressing on Atlantic. And then this is where my Testament collection hits a big gap. I don't have live at Eindhoven. I don't have live at London. I don't have Return to Apocalyptic City. Looking for all of those records to add to my collection. So Testament, Turbulent Times to the 90s. I want to get the album Low. I'd love to get that one. Haven't quite got there yet. The next album after or right before the Ritual, kind of went right by that, forgot to pick it up. It's Souls of Black. I don't care for this album too much. It's a good Testament album, but really not one of my favorites. I tried to last year. I drove to Chicago and tried to listen to it on the way to try and like it again, and just didn't. I don't hate it or anything. It's not as interesting as the other albums to me. And then you got the Ritual, and then Testament kind of made a pretty big comeback. And then they have the Dark Roots of Earth, and then the Dark Roots of Thrash, and then of course their new album Brotherhood of the what I'm going to show you next, Brotherhood of the Snake. Happened to pick this up on Record Store Day. They did 2 cover songs, Animal Magnetism by Scorps, and then Power Slave by Iron Maiden, and it kind of has the album artwork there from Dark Roots of Earth. So that's a pretty cool pickup. And then of course the new release, which a lot of people are showing, and it made a top 10, top 15, top 20 list for a lot of people for 2016. Very nice gatefold, awesome artwork. Unnecessarily two records on that. Excellent album, solid album. So I kind of went for that a little bit faster than I thought. Hope you're still here with me. What are your thoughts on Testament? And do you have some of those rare 90s albums on vinyl? So what does your Testament collection look like? And thanks for watching my first episode of The Mosh Pit.